All right. Let's see. I'm gonna check and see if this is working as it should be. Not sure what's going on here. Not sure what's going on here. Not sure what's going on here. Let's see. Didn't seem to save my thumbnail that I had saved, from what I can tell. Let me see here. Why is that not doing what it needs to do? I need the other thumbnail that I change. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to make sure this is right, because for some reason it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing as far as the settings I saved. Save. Okay, that should have worked. I don't know why it's not showing that other. Okay, I think it's working now. Okay, all right. So I think, except it didn't save that as well. Okay, so basically, guys, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, no, it's been frustrating lately. So last year, during the winter time, last year I kind of cut back my posting quite a bit because YouTube had added their new age restriction rules to where no one that isn't logged into an account could watch firearms content, and then that content was age restricted to 18. When that happened and they put that in, my views crashed horribly, and yeah, I've been struggling to stay, just to grow at all since then, because a lot of my viewers and subscribers had accounts that were out of the country. I had a lot of viewers in Argentina, Germany, some in Russia, Japan. I had them all over the world, and the problem is, once they added that age restriction, a lot of the people who are watching my videos, especially my shorts content, were not signed in to begin with. So once that hit, I went from averaging, 2,000 to 10,000 views per short video to I'm lucky if I can break 100 views now on a video that is a short video, that is firearms related. However, I post something that's not firearms related, it's just fine. But the bigger problem is I have, YouTube's been hitting my content hard lately. So there was one video I was trying to upload, which was just the unboxing of my Bryn Mark II parts kit that I got. And first they said I was trying to facilitate firearm sales, which I wasn't doing. I only mentioned Royal Tiger Imports in the context of where I ordered the kit from. Then they said I was trying to modify firearms, which wasn't possible, seeing to how it's a parts kit that was incomplete, didn't have a barrel, and it was literally chopped into pieces by a cutting torch. So I appealed that, And they denied it again, and when they responded back to me by email for denying it, they stated that I was showing fully automatic machine guns in the video. And in the clip that they showed for that was literally my my SETME L over there, which is semi-automatic only. I built it with my own two hands. I have videos of it on this channel. Yeah, they said that was a machine gun, and my appeal was denied because it was a machine gun. Even though the clip that they showed, I was shooting it very, very slowly. You know, it was like 3 or 4 shots. I shot it, and you know that's why it was a machine gun. So that appeal got denied, and then just earlier today, this morning, YouTube removed one of my old videos I posted 6 years ago. Now let me paint a picture here. This is Text Outdoors and More. 6 years ago, I still have my gun wall, my old gun wall, which is at this point in time a 4x4 piece of pegboard. If anyone remembers back then, with cedar around it, that I could put like 6 guns on. This is way back then. I wasn't monetized yet. I think at the time I had like 10 or 12 subscribers at the time. I didn't have sponsors. None of that. Nothing now. And this is pre-age restriction, pre-not being allowed to talk about sponsors, firearm companies, any of that stuff, any of it. All long before that. And they removed that video for facilitating the sale of firearms. Now, the video in question was a video on my old Marlin 336 over there in 3030 that I just finished restoring because it was in Hurricane Harvey and in saltwater and had to be completely rebuilt and redone. And in that video, I had no sponsor or anything at the time, so I didn't say any company names or anything. All I said was talk about the gun itself and what I had to do to get it functional again, and then the shooting footage showing it. Now, even in that outro back then, I didn't even have any fast-firing, semi-automatic fire in it. No 30-round mag shown anywhere in that older video. In my old original outro, back when I was still using dubstep. Yeah, that video got removed. And then the appeal got denied for the removal. So it's gone forever. And that's a video that I do not have a backup for. Because this is back when I first started. I didn't keep backups for my content because I was working on an old Levideo whatever PC that I bought for $500 that didn't hardly work worth a dang. And I didn't have the memory on that computer to be able to save all my videos and keep them as backups. Now, I have a gaming PC. I have a multi-terabyte hard drive that all my YouTube content is saved to. When I process a video and it's done, it goes on that hard drive exterior from my PC, so I always have it. So I can either upload it on other platforms later on, I can take clips from it later on, I can talk about that video specifically later on in good detail. A bunch of different reasons why I have that thing. I did not have that back then. That video is gone now, and I will never be able to get it back. Sure, I can refilm it again, but I remember getting those subs back, or those views back. I mean, I know it didn't have as lot of views. It had like 3,000 views, but back then I didn't have a whole lot of quality. You know, my editing wasn't all that great. It took me like 5 hours to edit a video, and then 24 hours to upload it with how bad my computer was. Back then, if any of y'all remember, I literally had my camera on a tripod mounted over my shoulder, looking straight down onto a little black table. And that was my thing. I wasn't on screen. I didn't have a table. I didn't have anything like that. I was off screen. And I like having those videos still on my channel because it kind of shows how I started and how I progressed to where I am now. And I'm not a big channel, not by no means. I mean, right now, at this very second, nobody is watching this stream. And that's partly YouTube's fault because I'm sure all of my 36,000 subscribers aren't notified that this video is running right now. I'm sure of that. But it's crazy. I understand YouTube's game. They want to frustrate gun content creators so much that we quit. I know their game. I know what it is. It's hard. It's hard to not fall into what they want. And there's nothing you can do about it. Once YouTube removes a video and denies an appeal, you can do. So when you upload a YouTube video, a firearms video, you monetize it, you set a personal review. This is the review that I put on it. I go on there, shows, okay, this is firearms content. It is semi-automatic or non-firing firearms, airsoft, paintball guns, safe environment, no one's in danger. I submit that, and that's fine. That's supposed to be automatic green check mark, but then usually it's automatically yellow check mark, and then I have to submit a manual review. Once I submit a manual review, it's out of my hands. Somebody can pop up and say, yeah, no, sorry, it does not meet community guidelines, and then they get to say a whole number of things about the video, why it's not fully monetized for all ads. And then I can submit one more review past that, which is hard to do, by the way, once you do that secondary review. It's not just through the, I can't just go on here onto my my thing and then submit another review here. That second review, I have to go through Google specifically or through the chat service to get them to try and review it again. And if that appeal fails, that's it. I can't do anything about it. It's out of my hands. Nobody can do anything. There's nothing I can do. I cannot talk to a real person on the phone. I cannot email someone directly about it. Nothing. And it's done for. No one would justify anything. And the problem is, it's people who are overseas in India in a call center or working on a computer who have never touched firearms before. They don't know anything about firearms. They're not experts. They don't know American laws. They don't even really know the policies on YouTube. And they tell me what's in my videos. It's screwed up. They tell me what content is in my videos, despite them not having any of the expert knowledge. And then they refuse to give me contact information to anyone I could talk to who is of authoritative a position. So it's hard. I've had people tell me, I message them on X all the time to try to get stuff figured out. Every once in a while, sometimes it seems like once I make a post on X or I message YouTube on X, they do kind of, sometimes stuff magically gets fixed. Other times I'm told, oh, sorry, the review is final, can't do anything about it. And that's the problem with it. It's people who don't know anything about firearms making rules about, enforcing rules that they don't understand the application to the specific content in the video. Like I said, I have a video that's not fully monetized because I'm modifying a firearm, and it's literally a chopped up parts kit that's cut with a torch that cannot function in any way whatsoever as a firearm. Doesn't even have a barrel. Can't function as a firearm. And then when I go to up higher appeals, they don't mention any of that stuff. They don't mention that I was trying to sell firearms, and they don't mention that I was trying to modify firearms. They completely ignore those guidelines that they applied, and then they try to say that one clip in my outro is showing a machine gun when it's a semi-automatic rifle that I'm shooting 5 shots out of relatively slow. It's frustrating. It sucks. I know what YouTube's trying to do. They're trying to run us Guntubers out, and that's why I really need y'all's help. I thank YouTube with all my heart for being able to grow my platform the way I have. I never intended to make. I never imagined I would be at least at 36,000 subscribers. I never imagined that. I always dreamed that I would get bigger, more subscribers, and that maybe I could make some money off it. Which I used to make some money off of YouTube before the age restriction rule. But the problem is, it's they hammer me on everything. Okay. Here's one that they removed from me. They actually removed this. They removed this and demonetized. First, they completely removed it. Then they brought it back after I complained about it. But it's this. It's an old video. This was a comedy video I did way back when, 7 years ago. 7 years ago. One of my first videos I did. This was back when everyone was rickrolling everyone. And the video of it is 50 state legal full auto Glock loophole. Because, I was trying to bring people in. And when you click on, this is what my thumbnail was. And when you clicked on the video, let's see. My intro. They originally removed that video for facilitating the sale of firearms. They were magnanimous enough to allow the video back on YouTube, but it's still demonetized. It doesn't have a ton of views, but that's not the point. I've always struggled to get a lot of views on my long form content. I tend to be a little dry. I tend to be more and try to pack as much actual information about the firearms as I can, because I want to be informative about what I'm talking about as much as I can. Sometimes I make mistakes. It happens. I'm not perfect. But I certainly know more than these people who are trying to regulate my content by telling me what is and is not in my videos. It's honestly, it's and there's no other content niche on YouTube that is treated this way. The closest thing would have been conservative commentation during the Biden administration, but even that's cleared up a lot. It's only firearms content creators that are treated like this. There can be some of the some disturbing stuff on YouTube. We just saw from the guy on that did the shooting at the Catholic Church in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. His videos were up, not flagged or anything. Now I don't know if they were scheduled or not. As soon as it happened, they shut down his channel, but his stuff was up. Yeah, you had a bunch of videos that were, quite frankly, red flags. But the problem is, it's just us. You can have two gay guys playing what was just stuck in my butt, and that's perfectly fine. But I can't show a lever action gun that's from the 60s that I restored. And I'm not here trying to ask y'all to do chat revenue, supers, anything like that. In fact, I don't want y'all to do any of that stuff here on YouTube because I don't want to give YouTube the money right now. That's how ticked off. I don't want to make the money because I don't want YouTube to make the money. What would help is if I can somehow get my 36,000 subscribers, which I've been trying to do for the better part of a year now, to please go over and make a Rumble account and follow me on Rumble. Because I have a feeling it's not going to be long before YouTube completely shuts down my channel by proactively, well, no, not proactively, retroactively applying rules and regulations and their community guidelines to videos that are 5, 6, 7 years old that were put out before these rules and regulations even existed. Because that's what they just did to that video. Now it's gone forever. I don't have it anymore. I don't have a backup of that. I don't have a copy of it. It's gone. That original video is gone. I might possibly have a copy on my old computer that I haven't turned on in 4 years. But as far as online, it's gone. I never had a chance to upload that video to Rumble. In fact, most of my old videos before I took a hiatus. So let me tell you a little story. I started my channel and I did a lot of videos for a while. I wasn't trying to make money. I wasn't trying to be big or anything like that. I just wanted to make YouTube videos. I wanted to be like the Guntubers that I watch. I wanted to be like Matt from Dimlish Ranch. I wanted to be like Brandon Herrera. I'm not sure at that time when I first started Brandon Herrera was that big yet. But definitely I wanted to be like Matt. And, he, as far as my content, he is probably one of my idols. You know, Matt and Ian McCullen and Brandon Herrera are probably the three content creators that I really try to mix my content together with. I try to be, I try to do the fun stuff as much as I can, like Matt and Brandon does. I try to be as historically accurate and informative like Ian is. And then I try to talk about the nerdy, the hilarious fun and mechanical side of the firearms like Brandon does, because, that's the stuff I'm interested in. And I was working for a while. I didn't have a huge collection. I had a buddy who had a huge collection, and he loaned me stuff to do videos on here and there. That's how I did my videos back on the Desert Eagle, the Taurus Judge, the minis, stuff like that, Calicos. He loaned me guns to review and do videos on. Well, shortly after around that time, my mother passed away. And I shut everything down for a while. I pretty much said, you know what, I'm not going to focus on doing anything but just living life. I went on some vacations. All that stuff. I did a couple little videos here and there, some hiking, stuff like that, going out of state. And some honey stuff, but I really didn't do much for like a 2-year period. But over that 2-year period, I was still building up my collection. And then I came back, and then I was like, okay, I want to get back into it. I'm going to hammer hard and do it. The problem is, over that 2-year period, a lot of things have changed on YouTube. Now, it wasn't so bad when I first got back into it again, but it's changed really fast. If I were to use the short system as soon as it came out, I would be probably much bigger. I'd probably be at least 5 times as large now as I am right now. But I took that little break, and when I came back again, I decided I wanted to be more serious about YouTube. I wanted to be more entertaining. I wanted to change my format. I wanted to do better editing, all that stuff. And I bought a gaming PC to do better editing on. And you can see in my content when I changed my format. And at that time also, I moved from going out and shooting at a popular shooting spot in the wind farms to actually having a range membership where I had a proper range to film shooting content in. So you can see in that time, I changed a lot of my stuff to put a lot more work and effort into it. Even now, I'm doing more work. Right now, I've got better lighting in here. I got a better webcam than I've ever had before. I've got better cameras, better microphones. I just dropped something over here. I really tried hard to put a lot more effort into my content. And I do plan on putting even more effort in my content in the future, but it's just so disheartening when you put so much effort into something and you are the only specific type of content that YouTube goes after like this. There's no other type of content that YouTube can go after and literally say there's things in the video that's not actually in the video. You can't go on conservative commentation videos and say that stuff was said or shown in the video that actually was not said or shown in the video because it's clearly not in the video. But for some reason, when it comes to firearms, somebody in India who's never touched a gun before can tell me that there's a machine gun in my video, a full auto machine gun in my video, when there's not. Somebody can go in there and tell me I'm modifying a firearm that is physically cut into pieces and cannot function and doesn't even have a barrel. They can't do that with anything else, but they can. This gun content, yeah, they can do that. And this is what I put a large amount of my energy and money into. I mean, okay, I like to collect firearms. I do. I love the mechanics of them. I love the history of them. I love the lore. I love the functionality. Everything about firearms I do like and enjoy without all the YouTube and content creation. I do. But the problem is I like to share that knowledge as well as I learn it and as I discover it. If I find something interesting, I want to share it with the world. You know? A lot of guys who are big gun guys, you'll know this. You don't have a lot of friends who are big into guns like you are. Just like if you're a car guy, which I happen to be a car guy too. It's easier if you're a car guy to have a bunch of friends who are car guys, but you may not know a ton of people who are car guys. Just like in the firearms community, you may be a big gun guy. I don't know. I have one other friend that's local right now who is anywhere near as big as a gun guy as I am. And so, I can only have so many conversations with just him. We have our different views. But when I find something interesting, I want to share it with the world, with everyone else. And if I can make a little bit of money at the same time while doing that, that's great. That's cool. It helps fund this stuff. Now, I fund this stuff by working my business that I own. It's a small business. And YouTube, what YouTube pays doesn't even cover, it pays me a month, doesn't even cover 2 boxes of ammunition. But, it's the main thing is I want to share, but at the same time, I want to feel like it's worth sharing. I could right now go turn off all monetization on my channel and probably not have YouTube mess with me again for the foreseeable future. I could do that. The problem is, at that point, it doesn't feel like it's quite as worth it if I do that. Because if I were to do that, to me, it would feel like YouTube won. And I don't want them to win. I don't. And it's so frustrating because it's been so long since I've heard of any of the other big firearms channels talk about what YouTube does to us. Matt left YouTube altogether last year. And I understand his reasons. Brandon's running for Congress again next year. Hopefully he wins. Hopefully he tries to push for some of this stuff here. But none of the big Guntubers talk about what YouTube does to us anymore. And that was the case a couple years ago, but they don't do it now. And it's frustrating that I know they're going through the same problems I am, but when you have tens of, hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, that you can easily, migrate. If Brandon Herrera was to migrate to Rumble today and say, hey, look, I'm shutting down YouTube, everyone go follow me on Rumble, at least half of his subscribers will follow him over there right away. Because he has so many of them, it's easy for a large group to go over there and it be worth the transfer over. I have 36,000 subs. I've been trying to get people to go over. I have 55 followers on Rumble. And the problem with Rumble is their algorithm is not really set up for growing small channels making content, videos. They're really set up as a live streaming platform that really favors big names that have migrated from YouTube to Rumble, and that's where they make their money. They don't care so much about small guys like me. They did in the beginning. When Rumble first started, when I first went over to Rumble, I was able to get a hold of a live person and talk to a live person. You can't do that anymore. So it's hard for someone like me, who's a smaller channel, 36,000 subs, to go over to Rumble and try to establish a following over there. And I wish I could do that. If I could right now get all my 36,000 subs to move over to Rumble, and the algorithm at Rumble would work more towards my channel, I would probably shut down my YouTube or stop posting for it, turn off all notifications, all the monetization, all that stuff. I'd probably still post here, but I would mostly focus and everything on Rumble because I can do the things on Rumble I can't do here. I did a live video on Rumble last week on the Bren, and I described everything that needs to be done in detail for the semi-auto conversion and build on the Bren Mark II. I can't post that video here on YouTube. I can't do it. I've already got one channel warning. I got a channel warning 2 months ago. I can't remember what it was. I think it was another BS facilitating the sales of firearms or some BS like that. And I had to do a course on YouTube, like I got a driver's infraction, to make it to where that warning will be removed off my channel, and it's removed next month. But if I get another warning or something, that's a strike. I've said this multiple times, and this is true for a lot of firearm channels. If YouTube was to retroactively apply all of their current regulations on all my content, my channel will be gone tomorrow. 7 years gone. Over 800 videos gone. And if that was to happen, I'll be honest, I probably would be a little relieved, a little bit. Because at that point, I'd probably just focus just on Rumble. As far as my main platform, I probably wouldn't try starting another YouTube channel. I'll keep my YouTube channel for my other non-firearms related stuff, like my garage channel and my gaming channel and my sleep sound channel, which I don't ever really post to because those are side interests. It's my main interest. But, I don't want them to win like that if possible. I would prefer to beat them at their own game. Now, it's sad because I've tried everything I can think of personally as the person that I am, the size I am. I'm not a huge Guntuber. I don't have millions of subscribers like a lot of the other guys do. I don't even have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You see, when you get 300,000 subscribers, a couple things happen. First off, you get a specific representative that represents your channel from YouTube, and that is your go-to person that you can go to and talk to about. Now, I have a buddy who is that large, who's also a firearms content creator, and he says that they're not really all that useful. Now, in the past, though, I've seen channels like Matt, like Demolition Ranch. He said his guy actually helped him a lot, and would fight really hard for him on his side. It depends on who you get. Now, I suspect if YouTube were to stop using people in India and other countries that don't have gun rights and don't have access to firearms and never touched a firearm and don't know anything about firearms and use only U.S. People to staff those positions, I suspect it'd be a whole different situation. But when you got an Indian guy in a call center who's just doing his job, it's easier for him to say, yeah, no, I'm going to deny that. appeal right there, because if it turns out to be a problem later on, then I'm going to get chewed out. That's what it is to them. It's more about them than what the actual rules are. Like I said, I don't know how many times I've had to fight with them where they say I have machine guns in my videos. I literally have a disclaimer at the beginning of my videos to try to fight that. That's the reason why I have that disclaimer, by the way. I don't want it there. I don't. I wish I can go back to not having that disclaimer at the beginning of my videos, because I don't want that extra few seconds on there. I don't. But I have to, because that's one of the few things. Now, when I did add that disclaimer, I did see a drop in those kind of claims against my videos, but they still happen. But I have to have a disclaimer, because people who don't know anything about firearms would say, it looks scary. It was in Call of Duty. It must be a machine gun. And then that's it. It's gone. I can't do anything about it. So I've gone through and I have emailed senators. I've emailed my governor. I've emailed anyone I can think of. I've emailed the Firearms Policy Coalition. I've emailed Gun Owners America. I've tagged them in X posts and everything I can think of to try and get someone of power to notice this issue and try to do something about it. And I never get responses, because I'm just a small YouTube, I guess I'm a presenter down here in Texas that only has 36,000 views. I don't have millions of subs or hundreds of thousands of subs. And it's really, really hard to try to get anything done, and it feels like nobody else is trying to fight this stuff anymore. And like Player, which used to be called Utreon, they're shutting down. That was one of the 3 platforms I used to post to, that I posted to all my content. Every time I made a video, I'd upload my long form videos to YouTube, Rumble, and Player. I used to do. There used to be a couple other small platforms that long died years ago. There used to be Gunstream, and then Outdoors Channel or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but there was something like that. But I used to post to all those. I don't post to Instagram as much as I do. I used to post to Facebook, but for some reason, long form videos won't upload to Facebook anymore. I try to share on X when I remember. I'm not as intensive on doing all of the social media stuff and putting stuff out everywhere like I should, simply because it's I focus on all this stuff here, and then I still run a business. I can't do this full time. If I did this full time, I would be able to do a lot more, but I simply can't. But I've tried everything I can to try to fight YouTube as I can. I've tried to rally people who have the authority to fight YouTube as they can. And nothing changes. So, I don't know. I'm almost to the point to where I might just turn off monetization on my channel, because the monetization is one of the ways that stuff gets flagged a lot more often on YouTube. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. If y'all can go over to my Rumble, links in the description, follow me on there. That will help. I wish I can get all my subs to do it. It's just, I don't know what to do anymore. It's just, it's so frustrating trying to fight something you can't fight. And this is the only niche that there is that does that. Yeah, I could post a review, or reaction to some of the goriest gunfights in a movie, and that's perfectly fine. But I can't show the unboxing of a parts kit, or I can't show a lever action rifle without getting hit with restrictions or having videos removed. It's honestly, it's kind of, it's frustrating. It is. And I know I'm just ranting, but I mean, I don't know what else to do. I mean, it sucks because I've gotten to where I am because of YouTube, but YouTube has killed my growth so much. If the age restriction alone, if that policy alone was not on YouTube, I would probably be at, I'd probably be at 100K right now. Maybe. Definitely 70K for sure. Because I was growing at about 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers a month. And some even more. I got like 10,000 subscribers in 1 month once. And since they added that age restriction, I've been stuck at 36,000. I have not been able to break 36,100 in over a year and a half since that age restriction rule got put in place. I lose almost as many subscribers as I gain, and it's because my videos are not getting hardly any views. Videos, like I said, I used to get 2, 3, 10,000 views on. I'm now getting double-digit views. I might break 100. And look at this right here. I have one video that's broken 100 views, shorts, in the past couple months. I got one video that is firearms related that broke 2,000 views, which is rare. I got another one that broke 1,000, which is rare. And then I got one that broke 1.4 thousand views, but that was about a plant. And it just, I mean, every once in a while, I'll get one, like I got 29,000 views on that one, every once in a while. But that was using a trend sound on YouTube, which I don't like doing the trend sounds as much. One, because it means I have to constantly be watching firearm shorts to see what's trending right now, so I can copy that short and just make it. I'd rather do an original short not as often, even though that's not necessarily what performs well. But it's just, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I don't know what to do. I don't know. And I'm not the only one that's going through this. So a lot of other gun tubers that go through this. The problem is a lot of the small gun tubers who aren't monetized yet haven't gotten to this point yet because they're not monetized. They're not being treated the same way or watched the same way as us who are monetized are. So they're getting to go through and make their content and throw it out, be good spirits about it. Oh, yeah, no, I'm growing a little bit here and there. I got 10 subs here, 10 subs there. They're growing. It's all fine, Daisy. Then, but a lot of them are going to find out once they get to 1,000 subs now. And if they get to their watch hour requirements, either 4,000 watch hours or 10,000 or 10 million shorts views, that things change real fast once you get monetized with YouTube. And a lot of the, what was I going to say, I guess the jading, the gilding of YouTube and being a firearms content creator on YouTube washes away real fast. So, it sucks. It really does. I don't know. And see, I would love right now in this short to be able to go through, or inside of this live stream right now, to be able to go through and pick up stuff and show you and talk about it, about what's going on right now, what this project is, what this rifle is, and what its plans are and stuff like that. I can't touch a firearm during a live stream. If I touch a firearm during a live stream, then it automatically gets demonetized and or flagged for removal and possibly a strike just by touching a firearm. That's why I haven't touched one. Otherwise, I would have brought the Brent over here and talked about it a little bit, or talked about some of the other stuff back there that I have working. And the problem is, if YouTube shuts down my channel, my YouTube channel, I have to start all the way from scratch on Rumble. Because if that happens, I'm not going to start another YouTube channel that's firearms related. I won't. There'll be no point in it starting from scratch again on YouTube. It would be too hard, take too long, and it sucks because that would essentially mean that I let them win. But it's just not. It wouldn't be worth it anymore. So, okay, I'm done ranting. I hope this was informative for some of you guys who or been following here and there, or seeing here and there. I talk about the struggle every so often, but just these past couple of days, this past week, with how much I've been fighting YouTube over. I've been fighting YouTube since I started filming again. When Royal Tiger Import sent me the VZ52, I've been fighting with them on those videos, just to keep them monetized and up. I'm fighting on stuff right now, and like I said, they're going back and removing stuff from my channel that are 6 and 7 years old, that are way before any of the policies that they're removing them for even existed, which is frustrating. So, sorry for unloading on you guys. It's just, so frustrating. So very, very frustrating. It makes it to where I can't be what I want to be on YouTube. I can't act the way I want to act on YouTube. I can't show the content I want to show on YouTube, because even trying to tiptoe around all the stuff, they still peg me for stuff all the time that's not even in the video. So that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. I'm done. I'm done ranting. Sorry, guys. Done ranting. Please follow me over on Rumble and on Instagram, and on WeAm. I'll show you this right now. This is a new app that I have discovered. I discovered it over the winter time. It got started up. It's called WeAm. Let me see. WeAm. It's like TikTok. It's a short forms content platform, but it's marketed as being pro-conservative for the working class, blue-collar people. They're pro-gun. They don't censor anything firearms related. So it's a lot like it functions almost exactly like TikTok. You just don't have to worry about the Chinese stealing your information and having your stuff constantly banned and removed, like I have on TikTok all the time. So if y'all can follow me over on Rumble, check out WeAm, and check them out. Go over to Instagram, follow on Instagram. I don't really push my Facebook page for the channel that much, because I can't really post content on there. When I do post on Instagram, it does automatically go to my Facebook page. So there is stuff on the Facebook page. I just don't post to Instagram as much as I should, which I should do. Who knows? Maybe one day I can get big enough to hire a social media person who does that stuff for me. Who knows? But anyways, guys, just follow me on Rumble if you can, so I can hopefully give YouTube the middle finger at some point and just focus on somewhere where I'm not going to be constantly harassed for stuff that isn't in my videos. Anyways, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for popping in here and there. I know there's been a couple of y'all popped in. There hasn't been many people watching, but I do appreciate everyone who has popped in and watched, even if it has been for just a few minutes. Thank you. Y'all have a good one. Please keep watching and viewing, because at that point, right now, that's the only thing getting me through on YouTube. So y'all have a good one. And yeah, YouTube sucks.